Washington.
Okay, let's get more now on the presidential race from the Democratic side. I'm joined by Democrat strategist Dave Jacobson, also Republican consultant John Thomas. Nice to see we're matching. Yeah. Good call. Yeah. Nice call. Yeah. Okay, let's get to the issue about the polls and who's better against Hillary Clinton. As a Republican, I mean, do you think Donald Trump will have it with Hillary Clinton, or would you prefer to see a Ted Cruz or Marco Rubio?
I think any of the Republican field, quite frankly, can beat Hillary Clinton. But it's hard to say, looking at the general election polls right now, they can't apply to November, because the fact is the candidates haven't pivoted to the center yet, and they haven't really begun to attack Hillary Clinton yet. So polls,
really? They haven't?
No, I mean, right. They really haven't.
Dave, you want to chime in on that?
Well, look, I think clearly Donald Trump is losing to the Democrats in recent polling, but I think he has to be taken seriously. This is a guy who's really been able to appeal to a wide range of voters, blue dogs, sort of those Reagan Democrats, independents. You're seeing turnout on the Republican side that's similar to what Barack Obama was able to do in 2008. And so I think he's a legitimate contender that Democrats ought to take seriously come November.
And he's a guy who's willing to go against his party, against George Bush. He can hold Hillary Clinton accountable for voting for the Iraq War. Donald Trump has the benefit of never having cast a vote, and so he can blame Hillary for everything that's wrong.
You know, this was one of the issues which came up in the debate. It was all about the polls, who was a better candidate. This was some of the exchange. I think it was between Rubio, Cruz, and Trump. Let's listen.
I don't believe these politicians. All talk, no action. I'm standing here listening to I'm hearing him say about a percentage. CNN, he gets 15. That means 85%, based on what you're saying, of the people don't dig you, number one.
Well, Donald lives by the polls every day. He tweets by the polls. He's told us to look to the CNN poll. Well, that's a very good poll to look to, because that CNN poll showed that head-to-head Donald Trump loses to Hillary Clinton by 8 points. He doesn't just lose close, he loses by 8 points. That same poll he told you to look at shows me beating Hillary Clinton. We cannot mess this up.
We all love the CNN poll, right? Which is a good thing. I'll put it to you that, despite what these three main guys are talking about, isn't the best one to beat Hillary Clinton from the Republican side John Kasich?
That's probably right, but he's the least likely to get the Republican nomination. Yeah. So at this point, it's just pretend talk, yeah.
And from a Democrat point of view, I mean, who's the dream candidate? Because is Donald Trump, the danger of underestimating him, and he could be the real problem come the general?
Right, he's the ultimate sort of unconventional candidate, right? I mean, look, according to the polls, he's the guy you want to go up against in November. The problem is it's unclear whether or not he's going to sort of expand on the coalition that he's already built. So I don't think that we can take him for granted. I do think that Marco Rubio is probably the most formidable Republican to go against the Democrats, particularly because there is a chance that he could sort of rebuild that compassionate conservatism coalition that George Bush was able to build when he ran for president.
Hillary Clinton has a huge problem, John, and that is the enthusiasm gap. And she's got trust issues, not just with the larger electorate doesn't trust her. A lot of Democrats don't trust her.
And adding into that is this issue with her email server and the staffer who now has immunity. How worried should the Clinton campaign be about this? Because obviously the Justice Department doesn't give someone immunity if they don't think they know something or they've done something wrong, right?
Well, look, this guy took the Fifth Amendment into previously, so he hadn't commented. So I think they're grasping at straws. I think at this point they're desperate. They're trying to get some little nugget of information so that they can create some case against the Clintons. But clearly this is an act of desperation. I don't think they have anything. And I think the Clinton campaign ultimately believes that this isn't going to impact whether or not she's going to be able to secure the nomination, particularly because Bernie Sanders sort of stepped on himself at that first debate saying enough of your damn email. So it hasn't really been sort of part of the dialogue for the Democratic nomination.
It may not be part of the nomination, but what about the general election? You got this drip, 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 trust.
And as long as it's hanging over her head, even if it doesn't end in an indictment, it may be her undoing, and just remind voters of what they suspect about the Clintons, and that is that they're in it for themselves and they're not trustworthy.
There's something always a little closer to the win, right? Okay. Dave and John, thank you for coming in. We appreciate it. We'll take another short break here, and the growing number of anti-Trump sentiment, well, it goes beyond the...